I think it is live now. There we go. So we are live. But like I said, you don't have to jump on just yet. I just want to see. Let me just start coming on. Oh wow, we already got 2 viewers. That's fast. They must have been waiting. And I know one of them is probably my dad because he's always watching. Like it's a TV show or something.
Okay. Well, at least he's supporting.
Right, right.
My phone just fell. Oh, wait, never mind.
Girl, if you don't prop that up, I should have gave you my little phone stand so that you wouldn't have to worry about this.
I'm slow. That's okay.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. I'm trying to see how I can start a watch party. Oh, there's 4 people watching. Hey, y'all. Oh, there's 5. Y'all don't. Let me not count these people coming in. But I'm going to give them about a couple more minutes because it's only 8:29.
It's 8:30.
8:30. Oops. Hey, everyone that is joining. I got my early thanks to, wait, y'all can't see it. Thanks to my mentor. I think he was trying to tell me something. I think he wanted me to detox because New Year's Eve, I was lit, but it's all good. I think we all have those moments. But shout out to Arlie's for this nice pineapple blend. I didn't get a chance to drink it when I got it, but I am now, and it's much needed. Oh, and it's sweet and tangy. Ooh.
You like sweet stuff, though,
I do. I love sweet stuff. That's probably my problem now. That's why I be so hyper. I wish I could view who is actually watching. Facebook doesn't allow that, which kind of, no, it kind of bums me out. That's why I like to do it on Instagram, but on Instagram, so what happens is I have to have a different type of software, which I had it, but it moved so slow. So I'm still trying to find a way to work around Instagram's. Instagram has all these like restrictions and stuff when it comes to outside streaming networks. So I haven't figured it out yet, but when I do, oh, it's gonna be on. Because I'll be honest, like I feel like I get a lot more views or people watching on my Instagram than I do on here, but it also depends on the topic. So for instance, 2 weeks ago, I was talking about sex, and there was more people on the Instagram that were actually more like interested in that topic than I would on Facebook, because I got a lot of old aunts and uncles and cousins and stuff.
Yeah.
So I figured, you know what, this would be best. But I think we can go ahead and get started, Nee, if you want to jump in and turn your camera on.
Oh, okay.
She said, where you at, girl? Where you at?
Okay, so my charger. Oh, yeah, never mind.
I gotta make sure. Oh, there you are, hey, Phil. So no lie, there's a picture. Actually, it's not the picture. Is it that picture? There's a picture a while ago, I think, that you gave me to put in for the magazine and everything. And you had your glasses on. And I looked at it. I'm like, yo, wait, is that me? So when you had it was like you had your black, your hair was black at the time, and it was kind of like swooped a little bit. And I'm like, she sent the picture of me? But I knew it wasn't me. It was definitely you. But everybody, hello. For those that are on and watching, I hope you are with us and had a very nice New Year, had a Merry Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever it is that you celebrate. My hope is Kwanzaa and Christmas, but no, I'm joking. I want to say, hey, I have Nia Johnson here with us today, and she is a senior right now at Dell State University, and she is a straight A student. And she's also the president of the Fairy God Sisters, because I've been saying mothers, sisters organization. So we are going to just talk about how she's been maintaining and handling, you know, her studies and her social life, as well as even work life, family, all of that. We won't get into all of that because we know that when you're juggling a lot, especially during, again, I gotta keep bringing it up. We're still in the pandemic, y'all. We still gotta wear our masks. We still gotta be smart out there. We can't be stupid. But you know, we're still going through these changes and whatever our new normal is. So that being said, like I said, we're here to kind of pick her brain a little bit because I'm intrigued. I'm just saying, the girl's coming home with straight A's, y'all. As a senior, I would think I'd be over here like bent over somewhere with a bottle in my hand. I'm not lying. So I just, you know, I commend you, but I also want to just, you know, take the time to thank you for being on our Mind Your Mental Mondays today. Thank you. Look, she won't be laughing as much as me today. So nonetheless, so Nia, I have to ask you, first off, how you feeling today? How you feeling?
I'm tired.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm tired.
Why are you?
I had work earlier.
Oh, you did?
Mm-hmm.
What do you do?
I was at Five Below.
Oh, well, I gotta act like I don't know you, bruh. Like, so you guys, yes, I do know her, but that's beside the point. We're gonna obviously have this conversation like we are just regular people.
No, but I was just on the register.
I know, but they don't, like, you know.
Yeah. But no, I was just on the register all day.
Yeah.
And it was really dry because the holidays are over, so it's just.
But let me ask, because I feel like right after the holiday, though, that's when more people shop. At least I did. No?
Not really, because like with Five Below, a lot of people shop there because like you can get things for a cheaper price. Mm-hmm. And the store was literally wiped out before Christmas even came.
Oh, wow. People
so like by Christmas Eve, because I worked on Christmas Eve, by Christmas Eve, there was like nothing left in there. Like people was like, oh, do you have this left? And I was just like, no. Like people who been coming in buying like tons of stuff, rolling out with a cart full of 10 bags.
Yo, they was racking up. It's crazy because I saw somebody post somewhere that they were actually a little upset. It was somewhere out in PA. And I've come across a couple of these Five Belows. I think one of them is also at one of the, I think it's the Garden State Mall or whatever mall it is in Jersey, where there's no cashiers. It's just the register. Like it's just
it's they have self checkout now. There's no registers, but it's really not self checkout. It's assistant self checkout. Yeah. So like we're supposed to ask because one side is just card only and one side is card and cash, and that's kind of how we kind of get the crowd moving in and out because majority of people use card.
Right.
And then you have like people who use cash, but it was more they will come in, you're supposed to be like hey, are you using sorry, my battery just popped up. You'll be like, hey, are you using cash or card? They'll be like, card, you send them over there. But only time it was kind of like causing a situation is when the store was packed because there's only 6 machines.
Gotcha.
So people be like, oh, like, where's the register? And I'll be like, it's self-checkout. Like, we try to stand there and help people bag their stuff, but
it's not easy.
Still catch your attitude. I don't like touching people's stuff because of COVID. Right, I don't know where your hand's been. I'm not touching whatever you picked up off the rack. But some people come in expecting you to bag their stuff for them, and I just be looking at them like, no, I'm not bagging it for you.
Hey. Customer service, man. It's gotta be good customer service. So let me
if it's the elder people, I will ask. Okay. I can tell when somebody's struggling, and I can tell when somebody is just being rude.
Okay. At least you have that discernment. But I'm just saying though, on a Monday, like, is it worse on a Monday for you? But like you said, it's sometimes dry because it's after the holiday. It's just
Mondays are really boring.
Yeah.
It's usually crowded like in the middle of the week. Saturdays is really busy. Fridays, and you get more people coming in later in the day than during the day.
Okay.
But
Got
other than that, Mondays is like really calm. All the other stuff, restocking. That's basically what Mondays are for. Restocking the shelves and stuff.
it. Okay. So you're doing all of that. Ooh, girl. No wonder why you tired. I mean, it's a good tired.
Oh yeah.
You're getting paid for being tired.
Nah.
I get it. I get it. But at the end of the day, you're in school, so that way your paycheck ain't gotta be worried about no Five Below or anything like that, right?
Yeah, that
So,
is true.
so speaking of school and everything, so with the I guess amount of time that you spend with working now and everything, like I guess how are you balancing school? Were you working during school? How let's back it up a little bit. Let me start from the beginning. So freshman year, right? You go in. What was your mindset like? Was it scary for you at first? Were you timid?
Honestly,
Or were you just worried about getting your work done and being out?
I'm more of like I'm very attached to my mom. So when she dropped me off, I was like I was excited. Like I was excited to move in, meet my roommate and all this stuff, decorate my room. But then as soon as my mom was like, "Okay, we're leaving," I was looking at her like,
Where you going?
but I'm like, okay. So I mean, my freshman year was kind of like I don't know. I was like in a little shell. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't really go anywhere. I had friends, but not a lot. Like my friends was more like my roommate, and then like people I met in class, like within the same major, will be like, oh hey, you want to go eat lunch at Conrad? We'll go after class because we had class at 12, and then after 12 we will all go to Conrad and eat lunch together, then part our separate ways. But it was really hard for me because I tried to step out and like I'm not a very social person. I'm still not, don't get me wrong, but it's not the same as it was before. Like before I used to be scared to go up to people, talk, mingle, and then I look at everybody else. I don't know, like
But
now
let's talk
looking
about that.
back,
That's good though. Like
I,
what?
I don't know, like it was just weird because I feel like now, like when I look back and compare my senior year to my freshman year, I do wish that I kind of like put myself out there more
Mhm.
because one, I probably would have had more friends and I wouldn't feel so lonely, but I probably would have had more connections than waiting to the last minute to like connect with people. But I can't really regret that because a lot of people take time to kind of like step out of their comfort zone a little bit.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Absolutely. But I feel like with you saying that you would have probably had a little bit more friends or whatever, I guess the plus side of it is you were able to get a lot done. Not to say that the friends that you would have
Yeah.
created wouldn't have been supportive. I'm sure they would have, but it sounds like you've been getting, you've been doing the damn thing. So
Yeah,
uh,
I really like I think my toughest year was my sophomore year.
mhm.
It was mainly because I was taking math,
Mm.
and
That's not
people like
great.
a lot of people don't understand like, oh, it's just math. When you're an education major, it's not just math.
Yeah.
We're learning how to teach math. We're not learning, it's not like a regular math class like
Yeah.
algebra and all that other stuff. It's a class where it goes into more detail about what different type of like for example, I had to take I think the second math class we have to take is called Math for Teachers 2, and it's based on like fractions. Me, I'm not good with fractions. I'm good with them, but then when it start getting to the higher numbers, I'm just like,
Yeah.
okay, that's unnecessary. Like, why are we doing this? But but it got to the point where it wasn't one. We had to learn how to define a fraction.
So
Yeah.
time out, time out. Because I know whatever you're learning to teach kids now is different from how you've learned it, and obviously how I've learned it and how
Hmm.
you've probably been taught it. So like, I know it throws you completely off and it becomes stressful.
But I'm gonna tell you like how we had. So I remember I walked into class one day and my teacher was like, what does like it was like I think it was just one half. or half. And I don't know how to say 1/2. I don't know. So I'm gonna say 3/4. So she was like, what is this? And I was like, 3/4. And she was like, no, that's not how you define a fraction. I was just looking at her like, okay. So basically, for like from a teacher's perspective, a fraction is you kind of like explaining it more as a sentence. So it's like instead of you saying, oh, this is 3/4, you're saying that you have like a whole, it was called fractions are called BMUs. So it's a basic measuring unit. So it's like one whole piece, which kids will understand because in order for you to get a fraction, you got to have a whole piece first before you cut it up. And then she would say like, you have one whole BMU and you cut the BMU into 4 equal sized pieces. Then you move on and say each piece is size 1/4.
Yeah.
So like since you cut the
Oh,
BMU
wow.
into 4 pieces, now it's each piece of the 1 BMU is 1/4. And then you
I
look at
did
the
all.
fraction. Yeah, and then you look at the fraction, and then you're like, I have, I think it was like there are 3 pieces of size 1/4 available. So basically, the 3 pieces is the 3 over the 4, and the 4 is the 1/4. And then, like, at first, I used to be like, "What is this?" But then once I started getting used to it, I was like, "It makes sense." And it
Makes
was funny
sense.
because I had this question on my exam, and I
Mhm.
failed it. But I showed my sister, I had shown my younger sister Asia, and I was like, "Do you know how to do this?" She was like, "Oh yeah, that's easy." And I'm just like, but it's because we're being graded on how we explained it.
Yes.
And if you miss like 2 words, she will mark it, like take 4 points off. And I used to be like,
Student is only graded on the answer.
mm-hmm.
Sometimes how they get it, but not always. And I feel like if we were taught how you're being taught now on how to teach it, we all probably would have been straight in math. Like, because
Well, I was low key stressed. Well, not just me, my whole class. Like when we had exams and midterms, we took our midterms. We didn't take our midterms in a classroom. We took them in this lecture hall, and everybody will come. You will see a lot of people coming out crying.
that probably was intimidating.
Yeah, I used to come out crying. I used to come out. I used to turn my phone back on and text my mom like, "I'm done. I'm dropping out. I don't want to do this anymore. Like I can't do it." I couldn't do it. But I mean, I did end up failing the class my fall semester, sophomore year, which kind of like I'm not gonna say it pushed me back. It just caused me. And I ended up doubling my credits my senior year, but which I didn't know I was able to do beforehand. So I really could have doubled it my junior year, but I didn't know. But I took it again the spring semester and I passed with a C. Once she gave me the C, I was like, I don't care. It's a C. It's whatever.
You
Like
got it.
at that
Yep.
point, as
Yep.
long as I passed the class, I was okay.
Mhm.
But like after sophomore year, and it was just that one class because all my other classes I had A's and B's in. It was just that one particular class. But like once my junior year, I started making, did I make Dean's List? I started making Dean's List, President's List, but I was making Dean's List before,
Beforehand, right?
but it
Until
was
you
just
got to that class.
since that math class messed me up, it kind of like it took off 2 semesters of
Okay.
me making Dean's List. So then after that, I just came right back, Dean's List,
That's
President's List,
dope
all this other stuff.
though.
So
That's dope.
my GPA is where I wanted to be. So
And that's all that matters at the end of the day. you
at this point,
listen. Once look, you're past that C now. That's way beyond you. But I know you mentioned with obviously reaching out, you're sideways.
yeah, because my phone is dying. I had to
Oh
put it on charger.
wait, go get a charger. Do you need to go get it charged?
No, it's on the charger. I just had to put it sideways.
Oh, because it can't sit on the. Oh my gosh. So
Yeah.
you guys, she's gonna be sideways for a minute. But I know you mentioned, your mom a lot, and obviously it sounds like she's been a real big support system because as you said, you were like you're texting her like, I'm
Hmm.
done. Clearly
I
she's
was
dropping like
calling her. It was funny because when I look back, my freshman year, I used to call her like almost every day,
every
every
day.
minute. Oh, mom. She'd be like, Oh, nothing, just talking, like, I used to just call her, like, I used to call her while I was walking to class, call
Mhm.
her when I was leaving class, I would call her when I was going to the caf, I would call her when I would go to the mail room,
Oh!
like, it was just yeah, it
That's
was a
good.
lot, but,
But,
like
it's crazy because they mentioned the empty nest syndrome, and it hits the parents more than it does the kids, and it sounds like it hits you more than it probably did it. They probably like,
yeah,
"Girl, what is it?"
but it was funny because I like being alone sometimes, but
Mhm,
then it was, like, once I got the feel of being by myself and learning how to do things on my own,
mhm.
I was my freshman year, I was coming home a lot, but, like, once my sophomore year came, I was only coming home for the holidays. Then my junior year, I didn't come home at all.
Wow. So, like, that transition for you sounds like you've obviously been growing within yourself and
Mhm,
stuff, and,
and
like,
I'm still not coming home because
so speaking of, because obviously going forward, we know that you're a senior and the pandemic hit us back in March or February, or technically in 2019 we got hit with it.
yeah.
We're talking about it. So when everything started shutting down, you obviously got shut down in the spring, right? Now,
Yeah,
how
we got the
transition in
school
like
had us I think yeah, the school had us move out in March, like, literally the day after spring break ended.
mm-hmm.
'Cause places started shutting down the week that we were on spring break. 'Cause that's when they started, saying if you were out on vacation in a different state, you couldn't come back to school.
Oh. And
Like, because but that was before they started saying like, "Oh, we're gonna shut down and stuff." They were just saying like if you were in like Florida, because remember Florida was the first state that had all them cases.
yes,
So a lot of course, everybody goes to Miami for spring break.
yes,
So that's
they
why they
do.
sent out an email and they were just telling people like if you went to Miami, you can't come back to campus. You have to quarantine for 14 days and then you can come back. Once they started by like 2 days after they put that email out, they was just like everybody has to go home. Like take all valuable belongings.
So how did that feel for you knowing that your junior year, the entire year, you said you didn't come
I
home?
was upset.
Oh,
Only reason why I was
because you
upset
guys are
because,
used to being alone.
well, yeah, and I had ended up getting a boyfriend, so
Well, there we
I
go.
was just used to like, cause I stay in like campus apartments,
Mhm.
and his apartment was like next to mine, so like I was the whole entire spring break we was just like
You
flip
spent your
flopping
time.
whose
Yeah,
room, and
yeah.
then like once they said we had to move out, I was so upset. 'Cause I'm like, dang, I'm not going to
Oh
see
my
him. But then once we went into quarantine, I thought I was going insane. Like
gosh.
not just with him, but like with school. Like it was really hard to finish my work in quarantine because half of my textbooks I ended up leaving in my room. Yeah.
Really? The one
And
that
it was
you
and I was
obviously
kind of
need
upset. I was the only reason why I was upset was because we never even used those textbooks until quarantine
until
hit, and then they're like, "Oh, you need your textbook," and I'm just like, "We have never used it, and now you want us to
I
use
don't
it,
know.
and I don't have it."
I feel like teachers like that though, they should at least had prepared it, like had printouts or something mailed to everyone's houses. So
Yeah.
for instance, Adarius, for his schooling, there was packets that they like if
Mhm.
you couldn't get to the school to pick it up, they would mail it to you. I I honestly feel like if they did that for you guys, it would have been less stressful. But I still feel like it still would have been stressful because it just sounds like
Yeah,
you're,
and then, like, with
going through
being
emotion or a
and
moment.
and then it was, like, with being home, I was just like
You didn't have your other support system at the time because I feel like you graduated from mom to now the boyfriend because it's like, all right, well, I'm doing my thing.
yeah, and, like, with me being in my apartment, I have, like I had my own personal space. Like I didn't have to worry about anybody invading my privacy or like being loud. I could sleep. I could do whatever I want in my room. I can get up and eat whenever. I didn't have to worry about doing anything. Like me, I clean occasionally, so I don't worry about
So it's
cleaning. But it
not
was
a
just,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, I was just like, no,
So
no.
when
And then I
oh,
know like once the this summer passed,
mhm.
they were like, "Oh, if you're coming back to campus, you need to like let us know." And in my head, I'm like, regardless if it's a pandemic or not, I'm going back to campus because I can't be in this house any longer. Like I needed my own space.
Yeah. Once you got a taste of it, you're like, I'm never going back.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's sometimes what happens, especially when, I guess, in hearing how you said you started out from being like, shelled in. And now that you've had moments where you're like, oh, this is what it feels like. You're like taking this extra steps
Yeah.
in the open. But I have to ask, with knowing that, again, right now you're home, you're
Mm-hmm.
not in school and everything. With going back and with going back into your schooling and everything, like, tell me how you're able to manage or handle it through the quarantine, and what was it that was the hardest, I guess, in that?
Um,
It's still hard now because you mentioned you were having a hard time getting work done. So what was your distraction? Was it just because you didn't have the books, or like what are you doing to, you know,
I
maintain
tend to
focus?
wait. I'm trying to think. I think I tend to wait till the last. That's Brandy. I tend to wait till the last minute. And my thing is, when it comes to writing papers and stuff, I have to write like, I know some people, they can just type anything off their head and their paper be done within like an hour.
Yeah.
Me, I have to actually sit, hand write out what I'm going to say, get probably do like one page front to back, and then half a page on the next page, type it up to see how far it got me, and then write some more and do some more like research for like, because we do a lot of APA format.
Okay.
So it's more work when you do APA format because you have to write down all the websites. You have to cite
All
everything.
the sources. Yeah.
And
Wow.
so that, like, with that, it was really hard. I mean, APA is easier than ELA for me because I'm used to doing APA,
Hmm.
but I think my biggest distraction was just me procrastinating myself. Like, I remember my junior year, yeah, the beginning of my junior year, I had this research paper, right? The
Hmm.
most easiest research paper. I chose the Salem witch trials because I already knew what that was already. So I'm like, okay, I can do a paper. I waited till the day it was due to do it. And they had this party on campus, and I went, and I only had 3 hours to do my paper. And I went to the party and everything, and I was just like, you know what? I told my friends, okay, I'm leaving. I got a paper to do. They was like, why are you out? I was like, I know how to balance everything. I got back to my room, and then every time I do something last minute, my laptop freezes.
Because it knows. It's like, hold up, you ain't about to come and rush me to get the job done. I ain't about to do all this.
That happened to me like every time I did something last minute, either my laptop would freeze, it would disconnect from the Wi-Fi, or something just wasn't clicking. I couldn't
Oh
upload it.
my
Blackboard was messing up. I used to be sitting there crying like, now I know that this is
So
not
you
happening
had a
to me
lot of
right
tears
now.
through these years, I see.
A lot. Like, but
Oh,
no, I ended up getting back to my room at like 7, and it was due at 11:59, and I didn't even have a page written. And I think I forgot how many pages it had to be. I had to have citations, works cited page, a cover, and I was just like, I guess. So me and my roommate, we just sat in the living room because we had the same class. So we sat in the living room. She didn't do hers either. And we were just sitting there and we were just doing our papers. And then I submitted it exactly at 11:59. And she gave me an A. I didn't care. So when I seen an A, I was just like, cool.
it's one of those things you look back at like, I'm glad I went to that party.
like I kept telling myself I would never do this again.
And you probably
And I
did it.
still do. I still do. Like, even when it comes to presentations, I will wait until the day. I remember I had this presentation and I was trying to do it, and my boyfriend was asleep next to me, and I ended up having to. I think basically I was in class, but then I had, with my MacBook, I can have two windows open, like one on one side, one on the other. So I was in class on the other side, and I was making my presentation on the other, and he's over there asleep, and I'm just like trying to hurry up, and I had class at like 3 o'clock.
You know who I thought of with the sound you just made? The one of the Medeas. what was it? And she had the calculator out because she was sitting here trying
Oh
to
yeah,
fix
I know
us
what you're talking about.
That's what you reminded me of. But
Yeah, it was. I need to stop doing that, but I don't think I would do it anymore. It was just I tend to wait till the last minute, and then like so, and it's what's funny. I wait till the last minute, but I do use agenda books and calendars
I was about to
to
ask
keep
you
me
that about planning
yeah
and stuff. I
to
was
keep me
just
organized and stuff. But with
yeah.
even with them, I still
It's crazy
procrastinate.
though
So
because
honestly, that's my fault.
I feel like with a procrastinator, a planner though still kind of keeps you in line or in check.
Yeah.
Even though okay, I know I gotta get this done. I got about like 5 minutes. Like so that 5 minutes you may not have wrote it down in your planner, but okay, well I can check this off because now it's done. You can move on to something else. But and I was just about to ask you about that. Like so again, with planning and everything, with I guess did you just plan or schedule a lot of your schooling and just your activities and stuff, or again, are there other things that you've done to really help get you through, all of those times that were like your not your lowest points, but you know what I mean? Like sometimes we have
Yeah.
to write ourselves these affirmations to be like, you can do it or keep going because a lot of times we don't have the support to always be
Hmm.
there to kind of give it to us. Did you do that at all or
I had ever since my freshman year, I've always had a calendar and agenda book, and I've always written like I color code my classes
hmm,
by different colors. Well, I like colors anyway, but so I color code my classes by different colors. Then like for the month that we were in, I would print out all of my professors' syllabuses, and in the syllabus it would show like all the assignments that were due throughout the whole entire semester. And I will fill out literally my whole entire agenda book from August till December
hmm,
and just fill out what class, what time it was due. And I'll write the teacher's name next to it, and then I'll highlight it in a certain color. And
hmm,
then once that day came, now I was able to see like what assignments I had due within like 2 months. And
yeah,
sometimes I would do things ahead of time and then I'll just cross it off. Um, that was one way I used to keep myself organized. I use Google Calendars sometimes, and I just put things in there, but I don't really use that like that because I need something physical, like
yeah,
something that I'm
yeah.
going to look at every
Actually,
day. I don't
right,
really, yeah,
you
I
can
don't
write
go on
it.
Google like that every day for me to keep looking at my calendar. So, I had an agenda book that
Mhm.
had that, it was like a planner. So it was like the month, the dates, the time. And then I had a desk calendar too. So whatever was in my planner was on my desk. So if I
Right.
forget to look in there, I can look at it like on my
You
desk and
had
I'll
it
cross it
all
off.
over the place for yourself.
Hmm.
That's
I used
good.
to do that. I used to keep was that it? Because I feel like yeah, I think that was it. Color coding really does help though, because that allowed me to know, okay, this class has 3 assignments, this class has one, this class
Right.
do this. So
So
that helped me a lot.
which colors trigger you the most that are like your most, I guess, your important to least important,
I
like you
would
got it
say
that way?
I use yellow
Yeah.
as like most important. So like if it's something urgent, if it's urgent, I'll write it in permanent marker and highlight it in yellow. If it's like if it's just an assignment, I have like colorful pens. I will write it like I'll say Dr. So and so,
Hmm.
write the name of the assignment, due at 11:59 or due by 3:30 p.m. And then I'll just make a little cloud over it, but I won't highlight it because it's just an assignment. Now, if it's like important assignments, I write it in permanent marker and I highlight it in yellow.
That's pretty dope. So let me show you what I got from your store. Well, not your store per se, but I love the little things that they have for $5, like the planners here and stuff. I use them faithfully too. However, I have girl, this is bad. I have probably over 15 planners. And sometimes for the one year, I will
Hmm.
have let's say planner for family stuff, planner for work stuff, planner for social life. Like I will literally put it all in different stuff only because if I have it all in one, I can't
Yeah,
see
I
anything.
do. Like with me, like this year with running the org, my planner looks like I had no free time.
Yeah.
Like I
Well,
would
let's talk
have
about
school
that. How does that
assignments.
feel? How does that feel not having free time? Like what is it that you do with the organization, the Fairy God Sisters? Because I keep wanting to say mothers. That you know, that's I guess taking away that time. Like, do you do certain events? Are you running certain things? Like what kind of programs I guess you do?
So, Fairy God Sisters is a female community service organization on the campus of Delaware State, and it's been there since 2012. And basically, it's nonprofit too. So basically, we you have to go through an interview process to be accepted into the organization, and it's like certain requirements you have to have. And then once you get accepted, we do a lot of community service. Like most of our community service with kids.
Mhm.
Um, I know this year we had so many services back to back. We did canned food drive. We did a virtual walk for Alzheimer's. Virtual walk for autism.
Oh, nice.
We did what did we do? We had a Halloween trunk or treat with YMCA. Um, Oh, we did a walk for domestic violence on campus, sexual assault. We did a walk for that too. That was on campus, but I wasn't there for that. I just took a picture of myself walking.
You just had to throw that out there. I wasn't there though, but I took my picture.
Because by the time they had it, I was already at home.
Yeah, and
So,
it's not like you
but
could have been back.
I know last year we did a prom dress drive for girls whose family were like, I don't want to say less fortunate, but didn't have the funds to actually provide them the prom experience that I had or somebody else had.
Mhm.
So like if you still had your prom dress, you were able to bring it, donate it. If you still had a purse, whatever you had that was like
Shoes,
prom,
stuff like
yeah,
that.
you'll give it to them and make them, provide it for them and everything. Um, we also do like mentor programs with young girls in high school. So basically, it's kind of like preparing them for college, helping them stay on track and everything. And hold on, Brandy's coming.
It's okay. Hi, Brandy.
Hi, kitty.
Oh,
Move.
have the, oh. She's going for her walk.
And we do. I'm trying to figure out what was this one service we did. Oh, we did we did a service to show people how to proper work attire, how to talk to people respectfully, manners and stuff like a etiquette class for
Yeah,
business.
yeah, I
We
like
did
that.
that. This year
Almost
with
like a
me,
debutante type of thing.
yeah, it was something like that, but it was at like Boys and Girls Club. But this
Mhm.
year with me being president, I kind of like switched things around
Oh, let me hear.
because so
All right, I'm all
oh yeah, and
listening.
we also had a Christmas bazaar drive where we raised $700 um to the Children's Home Society of New Jersey down in Trenton.
What?
We sent them, yeah, we raised $700 for the kids in the adoption agency like around the corner. And I sent it to them and I was kind of surprised because a lot of people, because they were able to donate toys, hats, gloves, anything in the winter for kids who, less who can't afford to have that stuff. And basically to make their Christmas special because they may not get to experience Christmas like everybody else. And I was just happy that we were able to raise that much money because I didn't think, when people say, "Oh, can you donate?" People don't. Oh,
They
I
don't
don't need, like you could at
understand.
least donate $1 or something.
Right.
Like,
Well, a dollar goes
but
a long way.
I had a lot of people, they were donating like 10, 5, 20. I know this one girl donated 100, and I was just like, I was happy because a lot of people, they always say that our org doesn't do anything, but it's just like we
It was
do so
definitely
many
a thing.
things. Like we don't have to post everything, but we post flyers on our page so other people can join and
Right.
all that other stuff. So, but
No, that's
with
good
me,
though.
that was this year. But with me being president, I kind of switched things around because one, it needed work and it needed help.
Hmm.
So I wanted, just flip it around a little bit. And basically, I am nice, but I'm also strict at the same time because when it comes to like community service and helping people in need, there is no point, like, it's unnecessary to say, "Oh, I want to help people," and you don't volunteer.
Hmm.
So I started like writing people up. I would be like, if you don't do this, you don't earn the hours.
Okay.
I used to make some services mandatory, like, oh, you have to
As
be
you
there.
should though, especially for an
And
organization like that. You don't want it just to be easy for everybody. If
hmm
that was the case, everybody would be part of it.
exactly. And I kind of made the interview process a little harder than what I experienced. And
Oh, I could see that.
like some of them were messaging me like, "Oh my god, I'm so nervous," and I'll just be like,
But you know what? It's preparing them though. It's really preparing them for the future. And it also helps prepare you in
hmm
the position that you are as a leader to continue leading. You know what I mean? So that's
yeah, it was just, but we've like comparing this year to like the previous year and the year before, we have been very active. All the members have been participating. We had service opportunities like back to back to back. Even though with being in a pandemic, a lot of our service were like virtual. Some
mhm,
people were allowed to do like service on the side, and then they had to send me proof and documentation. And I'll just sign it off.
mhm.
Um, I made this thing called, it was a sisterhood retreat for the new members, and it was kind of like I never got anything like that. Like basically, I got my interview, got accepted, and then
That
that
was
was
it.
it. Like we
You're
had a
kind
bonding of
of like, well, what's next?
yeah, like we had a bonding event, but it was more like a bonding event where girls are just telling their business, and then like they feel like, oh, because they told their business, you're supposed to tell your business. And I'm looking at them like, no, because I don't know
I don't
you.
know. I'm still your
Yeah,
president.
like it just makes me look at them weird, but I didn't do that this year. Like this year, I kind of made it a retreat to where they learn how to do teamwork. We had building exercises. We had this thing called crowns and compliments where they had to pick a name out of the cup thing, and they had to tell that person one thing they like about them and leave them like a positive affirmation or whatever. And we did, and then we also did this balloon release where you blow up the balloon and then you write down like any something that you want to let go, something that you like, something you want to let go, anybody you want to forgive, a toxic trait that you have, bad habits, like anything negative, you write on the balloon with a permanent marker, and then we pop them like with a needle.
Mhm.
And like you didn't have to say what you wrote on there, but it was just like after everybody stood in a circle, everybody would just stand there for like 5 seconds and then just pop it. And it was like kind of released, some
Yeah, no,
tension and
it's
stuff. But
fun.
it was just, and I made them these goodie bags. It was funny because I went all out for them. Like
I
I
can
gave them
I tell. Like I love it though. I love it
like
because
I gave them the experience that I wasn't given.
yeah.
Like me, because we have a Miss FCS, so she's the face of the org. So me and her, we were at Party City. We asked everybody their favorite color, and their goodie bags were their favorite color. So it was so many pink
Oh,
bags, but then you had purple bags,
but
blue,
you put a
black.
lot of love and heart into it, and that
And we had went to Michael's, and I seen this thing on Pinterest, and I was like, you know what, this would be a nice gift until induction. So we got like these little like wine, the stemless wine glasses, but they're plastic. And we found like this paint marker, and
ah,
each member, I hand customized their glasses for them. Like not everybody got the same type
you're
of
getting
design, but
creative.
yeah, everybody had something. And we also wrote them cards saying like, "Hey, welcome. Can't wait to meet you. We look forward to bonding and everything." And then some members that came to me personally about like, depression and them going through hardships and saying that they felt like, I don't know, they felt connected to me because I opened up my arms and allowed them to come in and I was nice. So like I wrote them like a personal note and be like, hey, I'll send them a quote and say, never, never allow yourself to slip into that type of like mindset. And
Right.
like ever since they'll come to me like, I'm so happy that you allowed me to be a part because you're very warming and stuff. And I'm just like, my president didn't do that for me. I mean, me and the previous president, we're friends,
Yeah.
but
But
she didn't really put that much effort into actually, because what I was trying to do, instead of being president, I was trying to not form a relationship, but at least let my members know that I'm there for them
right.
outside, like within the org and outside of the org. So
Yeah.
I'm not just, oh yeah, that's the president. Like, no, I have a
You
name.
want to still be you.
Yeah, like I'm
And
still a
let them know
person.
yeah, yeah. Because I feel like a lot of people, once they hear a title added to it, that changes everything. Oh, I
Because
can't talk to
sometimes
this, I
they
can't do
don't even call me by my name. They just be like, oh, hey, Prez. And I'd be looking at them like, I have a name.
that.
Like, but I mean, I still respond. But I mean, I have gotten some girls who, like, I guess they feel as though, I know this one, some of them get scared to text me because they're like, I wasn't sure. Like, they'll start off saying, hey, Nia, I felt comfortable texting you, but I wanted to ask. And I was looking at them like, why are you so scared? Like, you're not in the camera.
You're not in the camera.
But they'll be like, oh, I'm scared. And I'll just be like, why do y'all think I'm so aggressive?
I mean,
Like,
well, you did say you like to be stern.
it's not that. It's
No,
always a
I
time
get
and
it.
place.
I
Yeah,
get
like
it. I get
I
it.
take my position very seriously.
As you
So it's like,
should.
I guess
Because
they
they
feel
should
like,
with their own
yeah,
positions.
they feel like because I'm always getting straight to the point and I want things done right away,
Mhm.
it's like, oh, I'm scared to talk to her. And I'll just be like, I'm the nicest person. Well, not that nice, but I'm like, the nicest person that you can talk to. Like, I'm still tell you about yourself. I'm just saying, like, I'm
That's
still
that's
nice.
what nice people do. We tell people about themselves, like no sugarcoating, no beating around the
Yeah,
bush.
like, but I'm just glad, like, some of the new members,
Mhm.
some of them, about maybe like four of them, they'll text me almost every day. Some will just text me like, hey, I just wanted to send you my documentation and proof that I did service outside of the org. And I'll be like, okay. And they'll be like, is this okay? And I'm like, it's fine. Like, it's not that serious. Now, if you weren't doing anything, then I would have messaged you separately and would be like, okay, why aren't you doing this? But no, I don't really yell at them like that. I think I yelled at them like once.
But that's the respect that you earn too, So I think me personally, I think hearing you say all this and how many people come to you and everything, obviously that's great, but have you thought about creating before you leave even from the school, creating some type of hotline or something where even if you're still involved or if you're not involved, people feel like they have a place to turn to because it clearly sounds like you're their go-to person. And
Hmm.
I know it sounds like it would be more work. Like I remember saying, like, Ed, why are you trying to add more work to my plate?
Yeah, I don't even like they text me. Sometimes I don't respond right away, but I mean I still get back to them. But I have a
Well,
life too.
of course, but to dictate it out to someone, I don't know. You sound like you're onto something, though, Nee. Like for real, you sound like you're onto something when it comes to the girls being comfortable enough to talk. And again, it's not to say you gotta stop, drop, and do whatever now. Like, no, I'm just like I said, throwing it out there. Even if you dictate it to the girls, when you leave them after graduation or whatever, if you want to add it on something else that they could do, by all means.
Yeah. Well,
It
I
sounds like
thought
you're the
about that. I thought about that, but it's like before I graduate, we have to go through interviews again.
okay.
So like,
For the same ones that are in, or just even those that are coming into the
no,
organization.
just the ones that are already in, like the old members and the new members,
Hmm.
because we have to do interviews for a new board. Because
God,
with me graduating, I'm not going to be here. So
right.
somebody else has to, we will pick another group of people And I mean, some have already come to me already saying, hey, can I have your advice? I want to be a board member and you're president. And I just want to know, like, what's the best way to go about stuff. And like, sometimes I'll be like, it's good to ask me early, but sometimes like when you just come out of nowhere and be like, hey, I want to be board member, I'm just like, can I be president first? Like, it's like, I remember somebody texting me this in September. I wasn't even like I only been president for like 2 months. And I'm just like, dang, like I haven't been, can the semester start?
No, not in their book. They're looking for you to hurry up and graduate.
The leaves off the couch.
Randy almost took your neck off. But the other thing I did want to bring up, and this is before we like close out and everything, and see if anyone wants to ask any questions. Like I said, I know we got a few people that are on, but you're cracking me up with the fact that you're sideways. Because when I look at it on my phone,
well, let me see what oh, it's only on 23.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say, what is it that, I guess, what made you go into the educational field? And is there something that's, I guess, near and dear to you for why you wanted to take on schooling in the first place from I guess, what is it again, kindergarten to second grade?
Mm-hmm.
What is so special about that age range for you? For why you wanted to do it?
At first, I was applying to colleges to be like psychology, like somewhere in the science field. And basically, when I ended up going to new student orientation at Delaware State, I was supposed to be a consumer science major. I don't know why I just picked a random major. And I remember them telling me, because I think at new student orientation, they tour you around based off your major, showing you what buildings most of your classes are going to be in. And I will never forget, I texted my mom and I was just like, because that same day you're supposed to set up your schedule for the upcoming semester. And I remember I went to my mom and I was just like, I can't find consumer science. And she was just like, where? So we asked somebody and it was like, oh, DSU got rid of consumer science like 4 years ago. Wow. And I was just like, so why is that still an option on your website? So, and we were in the library. So I remember I seen this group of people just sitting in the library and I went up to this advisor. She just gave me this curriculum. And it's their early childhood education. And I was looking at her and I was just like, she gave it to me. She's like, go sit down on the computer and fill in your classes. So she thought I was an education major, like, coming in as one. Yeah. And I wasn't. So I just took the syllabus and I went in there and I just signed up for classes. I didn't even know what I was signing up for. And then once the semester started, I was sitting here and once I told everybody I was an education major, everybody in the family was like, you as a teacher? Because kids irritate me. And this is,
I think I actually said that to you too. I'm like, wait, you're going as a teacher?
A lot of people, like, people who know me, you want to be a teacher? Like, you can't even stand your siblings.
Nia was like our in-house babysitter at one point, and I feel like all of our kids, all three of them, probably were hung by their ankles by me.
Not so Darius. Darius was like my favorite.
Okay. It was just the girls.
Yeah. But yeah, but then like once I got deeper like into the major and taking different classes and seeing how what teachers have to go through, like the projects, the assignments and stuff, I really started like developing an interest in teaching to where it was just like every year I was excited to take another class. And then like I believe by my junior year was when I was my sophomore year I had got into the teacher education program, which is you have to get into that program in order for you to graduate with your degree. So it's kind of like education majors is kind of like nursing majors. You go through you have to get into the program in order for you to actually start taking the actual classes and then get into your, get your degree. Because if you don't get into the program, you're just going to be taking random classes and it's going to keep pushing you back. So I ended up getting into the teacher education program by spring semester of my sophomore year. And at that time, that's when I was retaking that math class. So the fact that they knew I was retaking a math class, you have to pass math with a C or higher.
Okay. So
since I interviewed before the semester was over, I didn't have a grade yet. And at that time, I had a D in the class. So when I passed the interview, but they would not send me my acceptance letter until they received my grade back from the math class. So I was just panicking. I'm just like, oh.
How long did you have to wait? Uh-oh.
Boyfriend's calling me.
Okay. I'll text him. I'll call him when we're done. Oh my,
I'm about to just tell him I'm doing something.
It's okay. While we wait on Nia to come back, because clearly her boo is hitting her up at the moment. Are you still there to talk though, or are you texting?
No, I can talk.
No, I wanted to ask you, so how long did you have to wait in order to get that grade? Like,
at that time, it was like going on April. So it was more like I was kind of, basically I had whatever them, that amount of weeks. Mm-hmm. But it was just the fact that it was so last minute. It was like me, I was upset, but I was upset because I'm just like, dang, I can't get my acceptance. But as soon as she put that grade and said I got a C, I emailed my advisor. I was like, I passed math with a C. She was like, good. Then when I came back that semester for my junior year, as soon as I moved there, I went straight on campus. I was like, do you have my acceptance letter? They printed it out. They gave it to me.
That's all you want.
That is. And I was just like, so by the time I got in, I was in a program, but it took a minute to register on my transcript because of the lateness. It kept saying that I was pre-education, but once you get into the program, it switches over to like education. Okay. So that's what happened. And then junior year was when I really started getting, like, I started taking classes for special children with special needs, learning how to run a daycare or educational program.
That sounds like it was fun. Is it Brandy again? Hi, come Brandy. On. Brandy loves her, but treats her like.
But yeah, it was just, honestly, I enjoyed the experience. Like, I enjoyed every bit of it, even though I had a lot of tears. I really learned a lot. So it was just the fact that, things were pushed back, but it wasn't pushed back. So I'm just glad that, I was just able to experience everything. And then once I did take praxis, because you have to take that too. But because of COVID, they kind of they stopped giving us deadlines. So technically I don't have a deadline when to pass it. But before I was stressing out because I had to pass by December 1st, which was last month.
Good.
I went ahead and took it without studying a lot. And I mean, I was supposed to pass with a 160 and I ended up scoring a 153. But I wasn't upset because.
But you didn't study a lot either. So, I mean.
I knew the material, but it was because I tend to second guess myself a lot when I answer stuff. So, but honestly, my major really is.
Second guessing. Go with that gut.
Yeah, my major, it's not a lot. Like, I enjoy it. Me, like, once I started going into classrooms and, seeing how teachers have classroom management, how they do lesson plans. Lesson planning is so time consuming. Like, that's another thing. Like,
that's another thing added to your list.
This major really makes you appreciate teachers a lot because I did not know they had to go through all this. Like, lesson planning will take you like all day, if anything. Like, I think the younger the age, the more you have to put into the lesson, because you're building their foundation of learning. So there's like so many areas and so many goals of certain areas that they have to reach by a certain time and point, that you're just trying to make sure that they get there. And especially with kids with like special needs and disabilities and all that other stuff, it's 10 times harder. But I mean,
Believe it.
I had to do lesson plans for that too. Like I had to do a lesson plan for all that supported autism. I had to do a lesson plan that supported students who couldn't speak English, and I also did one for a student who had a hearing impairment, because that's also considered a disability. So yeah, that class, I enjoyed that class though, like learning how to accommodate and involve students who have disabilities and stuff. I like that class because one, it was hard, but it allowed me to be creative, because with those, with those disabilities, you have to be really, really creative, and you have to have patience, because
something that you've definitely grown through. Listen, girl, you're there. You're there. You should be patting yourself on the back every single day.
I do.
Like you said, you was like, because I don't like kids. Well, pat yourself on the back.
And it's so funny because when I had like field experience,
guys, she loves kids.
when I would go inside the classrooms to see the kids, they were all like, I remember when I was observing this 2-year-old classroom at this preschool, and the little boy came up to me, and every day he would come up to me and be like, he wanted to sit on my lap. And I was looking at my friends laughing at me, and she was like, he likes you. And I was just like, I really don't want him. Because one, his nose was running, and I don't like that. Like, so I was sitting there, and he had Cheerios crushed up in his hands, and his nose was running, and my friend was cracking up laughing at me because
Miss Nia.
I was just sitting there, and he climbs up on my lap without asking, and he stepped in. He had Cheerios in his hands, and he stepped in Cheerios. So now I got all these Cheerio marks on my pants, and then he just lays on me. He's just looking at me, and I was just like,
think of how many lives you've been changing. Oh, you gotta get the.
Okay. Hello. Hi, Dad.
Yes, guys, this is the ultimate conversation with Nia. And
oh my God. Getting on my nerves.
I am loving it.
But
we're gonna close out though, because I do want to ask you before we do, if there's anything that you want to, put out into the universe to anyone that may be watching, that may have kids around, their senior year going into college. What is it that you may want to tell somebody that could have been struggling like you were, and how you
I would say there's 2 things. One, always have a good support system, like a friend, your classmates is a good, like make friends with your classmates, like within your major, because y'all, if you build a good relationship, y'all can have a group chat for any class, and basically you will help. Basically, all of you guys will push each other to pass, because that's what I did. Like my friends, I have about like 3 friends within my major, and I've been friends with them since freshman year, and we're still friends. Like we cry together, we do study sessions together.
That becomes your family.
We have like, I mean, some of the classes we were taking together, but once you start getting into your major, some of my friends, they're not early childhood, they're elementary education. So they're taking different classes separate from me, but it's still the same information, but it's just a little bit harder. But we still support each other. We're always like, hey, do you want to come over? We can study for praxis. We could look for internships together, like make connections or make friendships, or not. You don't even have to be friends. Just be cordial with your classmates within your major, because
it's like a job.
Trust me, you do not want to go through. I mean, I was going through it alone, but once I made friends, it kind of made me feel better, because not only was I going through it by myself, I was going through it with the same people, and we all had the same experience. So it's just like, and then once you see your friends passing, you're like, oh, I want to pass too. So everybody is helping each other pass. So that's one thing. And the second thing is, regardless of how hard it may seem, do not allow that to like discourage you, because there has been times where like me not passing, where I feel like I wasn't gonna pass, I was always thinking negative, and like, and I don't know how things work, but it was just like every time I thought negative, I still found a way to pass, or I still found a way to get through that semester, regardless of how much I went through. And there was a point in like my freshman year to my junior year, I will say like I was depressed and like suicidal a little bit, but it was just like me knowing that I was here to get a degree, and that I wanted to like make my mom happy, and that I wanted to be a teacher, and I just couldn't allow that to affect what I really wanted to do. So I mean, like, your mental health does matter when it comes to like, take breaks, don't overwhelm yourself. Study sessions do help a lot. Do assignments ahead of time, stay organized, that helps too. But also make a daily routine. Like, if you have morning classes, wake up an hour before, eat breakfast. I mean, well, I don't know if people shower in the morning or at night, but whatever you have to do, that your hygiene routine. Eat breakfast, drink some tea. Tea does help a lot, calm yourself. And just, relax before a class, then get ready to go to class. Write down everything the teacher says. Trust me, please do that, because if you don't write anything, it will come up one day, and then you're gonna look at them like, oh, you didn't say anything about this. I wrote it on the board.
Did you ever record them, or you always just wrote? Okay.
I like to write, so yeah. I used to write everything just in case, because teachers be doing too much nowadays. I don't have time for that. But she keeps coming in here. But come here.
Brandy.
Here.
Hi, Brandy. Welcome. You're on live.
But yeah, those are just my two advice. Like, don't allow things to discourage you, and make connections don't wait too late like I did. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but also push yourself to step out of your comfort zone and get comfortable. Like, be active on campus. Like, there's nothing wrong with being active, but be active in things that like best fits your interests. Like, don't do things because you want to follow everybody else. So that's just my advice.
That part. Don't be a follower, be a leader. But no, well, I appreciate you, and I thank you so much for being on here. And even during the time when your boyfriend called, you still wanted to stick around. I appreciate that. And like I said, girl, you're doing it. I'm proud of you. I know everybody else is proud of you. Continue to,
fall on my ear.
What did you say?
My earrings just fell out.
See, and this is how she's able to maintain her grades, guys, because she has these moments where it's like
this whole semester, like, with everything being virtual, I've gotten so like lazy.
Yeah.
Like, I will literally wake up 5 minutes before class, brush my teeth, put my bonnet on, and sit in my bed with my opening the blinds, and just sit there. I'll never forget, I went to sleep in the middle of a class. She had no business having class at 9 a.m. That's all.
Wait. That's going to have to be a conversation for another day. Oh, my goodness. But no, I thank you, and continue to keep pushing for much success, man, because like I said, you're doing it. There's many people out here that look up to you, that see what you're doing. I'll be real with you. Even my child, Amani, she looks up to you. So continue.
Oh, no, her and Nair. I want to go to college like you, and I'll be like,
Amani's already planning on going out to California. If she can't go to California, she's deciding on, I think she said, I forget the other place, and I'm surprised.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, she told me, and I was just like,
because she
y'all so excited until y'all get there. I don't want to hear nothing.
Listen, Listen, but I know you'll be there to still guide them in some ways. So, like I said, keep doing the thing. And I thank you. But nonetheless, everybody that is on here that's watching, I think it's only about like 3 viewers. I don't know. Thank y'all too for tuning into our Mind Your Mental Mondays. Today does not feel like Monday. It actually feels like Sunday. And I got scared for a moment because I was about to ask you, like, so are we doing this because it's Sunday? I literally was going to ask you that earlier today. Glad I didn't. But, and again, please make sure everyone, if you are not, follow us on Instagram, everyday_melanin_magazine. You can find our video posted there, and it will be on YouTube as well. Nia, if you want to give the Fairy God Sisters tag out Instagram name or whatever, you're welcome to, or even yours, whatever. You can do your thing.
How do I do that? Wait, do I
know what it is? Hold on, let me see if I can find it. It's Fairy, hold on. Now I'm looking, and I keep thinking of Fairy God Sisters. I mean, it is God Sisters. I was about to say Godmothers again. Fairy God Sisters. What's the rest of it? Sisters?
Of, and then it says DE.
Oh, so then that's all it is. So it's at Fairy God Sisters of DE. Oh, well, yeah, y'all. And then and if you want them to have yours, by all means, tell them. But I mean,
He goes for a month or two, so
listen, nothing wrong with that. But thank you. You might get a text from me tonight. You may not, but nonetheless, you'll get your video tomorrow.
okay.
Thank you, everyone, for joining.